swear it won't stop. People throwing shade, I be throwing sun rays. Some people want fame, I be putting you on.
I wrote about the stars, I wrote about the moon, I wrote about things in the sky that go boom. I wrote about death, I wrote about life, I wrote in the morning, afternoon, and at night. I constantly search for new ideas. I talk to my elders, my friends, and my peers. I study astronomy, history, and religion. My analytical mind is constantly on a mission, struggling and striving for the perfect poem, bracing myself for the perfect brainstorm. The more that I write, the more that I note. My best poem yet is yet to be wrote. Yeah. Yes.
Ancient Senet is an ancient board game.
Board game, okay.
Yeah, it's an ancient Egyptian board game that, just like I was touching on in the Hindu, uh, the East and West Indians are the same people. And how I brought up the Pachisi and the Patoli, which is an ancient board games. And so, I'm kind of still tackling those kind of topics because just like, playing chess. Chess is an ancient Egyptian board game. So, we still do a lot of things like our ancestors. You feel me? Or like they say, nothing new is under the sun.
That's
So
right.
you can know,
Already
you
been
can
done.
notice, and you can notice that like more than normal when I'm done.
Ancient Senet. We're gonna study it by using the information of the archaeologist Peter A. Piccione,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not many better scholars we can probably pull up for this information.
So more than 5,000 years ago,
Appreciate it.
the ancient Egyptians invented a board game almost as elaborate as anything from Parker Brothers today. Beginning simply as a form of recreation, this game was to evolve into a profound ritual, a drama for ultimate stakes. Called the Senet or passing. The game was based on the movement of draftsmen across a board consisting of 30 squares arranged into three parallel rows of 10 squares each. Two contestants strategically maneuvered their teams of draftsmen through these squares on the throw of dice-like casting sticks or bones. So freely passing each other in an attempt to gain the position of final superiority at the edge of the board. For 3,000 years, these players jockeyed for position until the advent of the Christian era. When Senet died out and his detailed rules passed into oblivion. Okay, so the graphic at the left is a wood and a faience Senet board. Faience Senet board belonging to describe Miramat, a contemporary of King Thutmose III, including draftsmen and casting sticks. So the game board was found by Abydos or Abydos and dates to about 1500 BC. The length is 39 centimeters. And if you can see the pic, you can see the origin of the chessboard. So almost a century, Egyptologists have struggled through fragmentary and incomplete evidence in an attempt to decipher the long-lost rules of Senet. Several far-fetched reconstructions of the game surfaced, but eventually sank under the weight of newer archaeological information. Recently, however, after several years of study, incorporating new data, I have been able to substantially reconstruct both the methods and larger meaning of Senet so that the game can be better understood and even played again today. So this reach demonstrates that the stratagems of the game reflect nothing less than the stratagems of the gods, and that Senet, when properly understood, can reveal essential Egyptian religious beliefs about the afterlife. Okay, at the most, the game indicates that ancient Egypt believed they could join the god of the rising sun, Re Horakti, Horakti, in a mystical union even before they died. At the least, Senet shows that while still living, Egyptians felt that they could actively influence the inevitable afterlife judgment of their souls, a belief that was not widely recognized by Egyptologists. So the graphic on the right is an old kingdom gaming scene from the tomb of Pepe Ankh at Mir, dating to about 2300 BC, and shows two people playing Senet. The player on the left says, "It has a lighted. Be happy, my heart, for I shall cause you to see it taken away." The player on the right responds, quote, "You speak as one weak of tongue, for passing is mine," end quote. So such an explanation of Senet is possibly only because of the extensive new evidence now available. The material includes a complete history of Senet through an analysis of most surviving ancient game boards and their decorations, the annotated tomb representations, and new translations and interpretations of religious gaming texts that describe the journey of the soul through various regions of the afterlife as if it were moving across a sonnet board. So the Egyptians believed that in death, they would join the sun god on his bark as it is set in the western horizon at dusk. The, de- the deceased and the sun god would then journey through together the subterranean regions of the underworld. Here dwelt a host of divinities and the souls of deceased people who were judged for their sins and consequently rewarded or punished. The reward would be food, drink, and eternal life with Ra, the sun god. The punishment, however, torture and eventual annihilation. This netherworld was usually represented as having 12 regions, one for each of the 12 hours of the night. After freely passing through the 12 hours of the netherworld, the fortunate souls would then unite and rise with Raharkadi into the eastern sky at dawn and become one with the sun god. So I say Unc want to be in the word. I see Horus want to be in the word. So Horakti. Anyway, Senet was originally strictly a pastime with no religious significance. As the Egyptian religion evolved and fascination with the netherworld increased, reflected in such ancient works as the Book of Gates, Book of What is the Netherworld, and portions of the Book of the Dead. The Egyptians superimposed their beliefs onto the game board and specific moves of Senet. So by the end of the 18th dynasty in 1293 BC, the Senet board had been transformed into a simulation of the netherworld with its squares depicting major divinities and events in the afterlife. Very intriguing. Very intriguing. So if you scroll, I'll keep reading. Or if you want to talk about it, we can do that too. So the first square in the upper left-hand corner, for example, was the House of Thoth. The ibis head divinity shown as a bird perched atop a standard. All right, there you go. There it is. Hmm. Yeah, it seemed like it would take all day to play that.
Yeah, I thought I was on. I thought I
Let me
was
see.
unmuted.
You
But yeah,
see.
this ancient Senet, like I say, is this a USB? Is this an ancient game or is this a USB? Because when you look at that, somebody tell me that's not a USB.
It's a
Mm,
plug of something, a port. USB is a
you
port.
know, matter of fact, if I have to watch this, well, USB drive, right? Let me show. Let me show what that is, just in case somebody done forgot. Yeah, this is what I see when I see that Senet game.
Mm.
I'm like, is that a ancient game or is that a USB? And they say that it's a simulation. It's a
Mm. Mm.
simulation of the netherworld. Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed like the gods or some form of, like they would say, alien technology has
Mm-hmm.
persuaded mankind to engage in the metaverse, or
Mm.
more so this game of Senet, huh? And we've dived into it like literally,
Yeah,
you know, like
dived into
I
it
see no
knowing
difference. And
knowing
for
that
them, the
game.
explanation of this of the netherworld. So aren't people trying to live forever in this metaverse nowadays?
A program. Yeah.
Do we have a delay or can you hear me?
I want to jump in when you're done.
Do I have a delay, sis?
Not that I know of.
Do we have a delay or can you hear me? Okay, okay, okay.
Right.
All right, all right, all right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm trying to see where else. Where did we leave off at on the reading?
I wanted to comment.
Where did we leave? Oh, go ahead, sis.
Yeah, so I see now what your interest means when you were talking about everything under the sun has already been done, right? You're saying we
Mm-hmm.
always like to think that
Yep.
we're the most evolved civilization ever, when more and more every day we're finding out our ancestors had it going on too. And so what are we doing now? The same thing that they were doing then. If
Those are
everything
facts.
under the sun has already been done, that's what I have to
Yep.
say. Everything's already been done. We can stop acting like we're new and we've got our whole new discoveries involved. No. Though all of those discoveries are rediscoveries, obviously. If it's been done before, you have to put a re on discovery.
Right. There's no newfound information, only forgotten one.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's got to be a delay. Like the brother organized Noah say, I got a little delay going on.
It's not affecting me on my end. But yeah,
All right. All right.
we finished off with that length and 26.5 centimeters, or the other one, 34.5 centimeters. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm trying to see where did we leave off
No,
on the reading.
put that comment back up by Sacred Grove. Put that comment back up. Yeah, that right there.
And where did we leave off reading?
be analyzed in a practical as well as mystical sense. Historically, Senet made its first known appearance in the third dynasty Mastaba, or tomb of Hesi-Re, the overseer of the royal scribes of King Jasser, at Saqqara, dating to approximately 2686 BC. So unidentified Senet light boards have also been found in pre-dynastic and first dynasty burials at Abydos and Saqqara, and they date back to 3500 through 3100 BC. This and a number of first dynasty or 3100 BC Senet board hieroglyphics indicate that the game may be even older. Annotated depictions of people playing the game also appear on the walls of later Old Kingdom, 2686 through 2160 BC, mastabas, among other daily life scenes. Okay? These pictures and their captions show that Senet was a game of position and strategy. Exceptionally skillful players would pass all 7 of the opponent's pieces with all 7 of their own. However, excavation of Senet boards with accompanying casting sticks or knuckle bones, which function as dice, indicates that the winners also had to be lucky. Yeah. The graphic on the left is a tomb painting of Senefer, the mayor of Thebes, seated before his offering table. Placed beside him, seen under his chair, is a Senet gaming box on its sledge stand, resting on top of an open work stool. Analysis
Yeah.
of gaming
See,
text
hold on,
and
hold on,
various
hold on,
board
hold on.
info.
Cause I want
Okay.
him to get it. I want him to get it, sis. Sis, I want him to
Yes,
get it
sir.
when they getting it. You know, cause I don't know
Okay.
if they hear me. You know, but like they said, this is the image on the left of it's a tomb painting of Senefer,
Mm-hmm.
the mayor of Thebes, seated with his offering table. Please beside him. Under him is a Senet gaming box. Mm.
Mm. Yep.
So
Recreation
you see
time.
how he basically he superimposed himself into the game. It's like he's a piece on the board, or biz period. That's just it's like saying you know uh, a picture of my house, and you see I got a chessboard and everything else already around. Just part of the ambiance, showing
Mm-hmm.
that they've been doing that for a long time. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I say, how this is not just connected with the netherworld. To me, it's connected to the metaverse. You feel
And
me?
and not and not
And it
just
show
that,
how
but
we are intertwined with the internet.
listen, bro. This also
What happened?
leads to question that when, like, the younger generation who was born into technology, they look at the older generations in ancient times as like we had nothing to do. Like, what do we do all day? You know, we played mind games, we made shit, we invented shit. And necessity is the invention of something or other. But my point being, we've always been doing things, making things, creating things. We didn't have no boring era where us folks did nothing simply because we didn't grow up with the internet and the cell phone and and social media. We still did shit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think his necessity is the invention of um
No,
damn, I just had
motherhood is the invention of necessity.
what
That's
you
what,
said, how was
not
it?
motherhood, but something or other, whatever.
Necessity is the invention of scarcity, some shit like that. I know. I was
That's
trying
what
I
I
was
said.
trying to figure it out.
I'm not going to try to remember that, but you get
But it's a good saying though. It's a very good saying.
something caused invention.
Nah. That makes sense.
Something caused invention to
Yeah,
happen.
yeah. Necessity.
Yes,
Yeah.
is the invention. No, it's the motherhood of invention. Yeah, that's what it is. Necessity is the motherhood of invention. What else?
Nah, nah. I like kind of what he said though, as far as what he say, scarcity. You feel me? Necessity is
Yeah,
the invention of scarcity. You feel me? Yeah,
yeah.
because when
All
things
of
are
that good stuff.
scarce,
All of that stuff.
they become necessary all of a sudden. You know, they become a necessity.
Yes, sacred grove. We had to use our mind. Like, damn, we had to think and make up things to fill the time. Yeah, I'd rather be doing that right now. If everybody right now went off grid and threw their phones away and didn't look at no social media, what would be happening? Everybody would start thinking about what? Who cares? We'd be thinking.
Hmm.
Let me know when you want me to
And
read, bro.
I'm gonna jump in there a little bit because I right
Mhm.
here it say the analysis of gaming text in various boards show that throughout Senet's history, the direction of movement across the squares are boostrophodin, reversing direction in every row, is what they say. So beginning on squares on the upper left. So it's like really like the queen, like basically it can move like the queen on the chessboard because she can do everything except for the move that the knight makes. You feel me? But any direction is available to her. So beginning on squares on the upper left, the subject was to progressively move one's draughtsman first to the 5 squares on the lower right, and then from the board itself. Contestants vied initially for the first square, and then to pass, move ahead, and even force their opponents backward, all with elaborate blocking maneuvers, not unlike backgammon. And bonus squares, which allowed free turns, were placed on the keyboard in key locations next to pitfall squares. The strategic occupation of these beneficial squares in conjunction with other blocking maneuvers would force the opponent into the pitfalls, one of which would later represent the netting of the netherworld executioners. In the plainest terms, it also meant the loss of turn, and for the ultimate pitfall, the primeval water of chaos, the loss of the draughtsman itself. And although all of the almost 80 known Senet boards have some decorated squares, only the last 5 squares, the ones that were the key to winning throughout the game's history, were consistently decorated since the earliest boards. During Old and Middle Kingdoms, these squares were inscribed with secular designs and numbers that meant simply good, bad, 3, 2, and 1. Good was a bonus, bad a pitfall, and the sequence 3, 2, 1 was the key to success, never changing over 3,000 years. This sequence determined the movement of a piece in attempting to exit the board. To remove a piece from one of these last squares and so move off the board, a player required a throw of the sticks or bones. Now, this is cleromancy. I'm definitely have to show y'all that. Like I said, this is a game of the gods, and it just gets deeper because now I have a physical game to show you that represents cleromancy. Everything. I'm gonna get to it after this. Hold on. To remove a piece from one of the last squares and so move off the board, the player required a throw of the sticks or bones equal to the value of the square the draughtsman was on. Yeah, and
That's when they say luck is required.
but that all of that is, that's why they say there's no such thing as luck. And even if we go off the word luck is coming from lux, Lux,
Right.
and we talk about light. You know what I'm saying? So when you're lucky, that means you are full of light.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's no, the numbers don't lie. It's what we forget. We forget that. So we call it chance. We say these things happen by chance. We train to think that, but in all actuality, there's no such thing as mere chance. And each one of these numbers are divine and most times represent what we would equate to a letter because we don't know how to read numbers. So we read letters, right? So we don't understand the geometry of being given to us every time we get in a letter. And we're supposed to figure out what the spirit, what the gods are actually saying by this so-called mere chance, by these casting of stones or sticks or rolling the dice.
Mm-hmm.
These numbers are really telling you something. It's not a game like we think it is.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, and that's claromancy. That's why you'll see Papa Legba, which is Tahuti and all that. At the crossroads,
Mm-hmm.
and he might challenge you to a game, maybe even a game of dice. You know,
Mm.
might want to roll, might want to cast the lots, might want to throw the bones, might want to play the game of Senet or chess or
Mm.
anything else. You feel me? And it's
Yeah.
gonna be, yeah, he's gonna be trying to see how lucky you is because he want that light.
That's right.
You know, for sure. If you want to pick up, what that?
It was about the
Yeah,
tomb
right
painting.
here at the top. Yeah, right here at the top.
Okay.
It's
During the 18th dynasty. Yeah, the Trio Dios logo might be in the way a little bit, but during the 18th dynasty, 1570 through 1293 BC, Senet underwent some major changes. Each player, come on, something something draftsman instead of seven. And the game was built into a self-contained wooden box with the okay, so each player used five draughtsmen instead of seven. And the game was built into a self-contained wooden box with a drawer to house the draughtsman and casting sticks. So one face of the board served as the Senet board, while the reverse side often bore a different game called the Jaw to Jaw. So the ebony, ivory, and gold game board found in the tomb of Tutankhamun is a particularly ornate example of this type of board. And that's illustrated by the photo on the left. So by the 18th dynasty, most boards were inscribed with the standard funerary offering formula, indicated, indicated that from this point on, they were sometimes manufactured strictly for the tomb. In fact, most of the boards known from this period were found in tombs. Wall paintings in the tomb of the Revisor Rickmeyer in Thebes show a porter carrying a game board into his burial. Similarly, the mayor of Thebes, Senefer, is shown with the board attending him in death. Really? So tomb paintings of many people playing Senet also underwent a striking change in the 18th dynasty. No longer included among the daily life scenes, they now appear in a decidedly religious context of ritual scenes, some of which were from the Book of the Dead. So the descriptive annotations or captions accompanying these paintings took on a similar change away from the practical and toward the religious. So tomb inscriptions at this time refer to the player as a deceased contestant playing in the necropolis against an invisible adversary, which is his own soul. So this may explain why so many New Kingdom tomb paintings show seemingly a point, opponentless Senet players. So the graphic on the right is a wall painting in a Theban tomb, shows Nebemat, which is the servant of the place of truth, playing Senet with his wife Merit Merit Sager. Merit Sager. So the text reads, quote, sitting in the pavilion, playing Senet, knowing three and finding two, end quote. Yeah, they don't look bored to me. It's serious. So if you want me to read some more, scroll it on up. So during the reign of Queen Hatshepsut, Hatshepsut, yeah, let me one, two, three, Hatshepsut, Hatshepsut, whatever. California, 1498 BC. The famous female pharaoh, the decoration of some boards also began to evolve into what would ultimately become clearly religious symbols. So the 3-2-1 sequence became three birds, two men, one man, and the bat became a water trap. So by the reign of King Seti the First, which is 1291 through 1279 BC, the men in these last squares became gods in a sequence of three, two, and one god. So by the 12th dynasty, circa 1185 through 1075 BC, these squares would also express direct supplications modeled after writings on the netherworld, that the player might rise into the heaven with Re Harati. So the graphic on the left is a mural painting from the Hathor temple at Ebal, Simbel. It pictures Queen Nefertari, with the wife of Ramses II. No, the queen is the wife of Ramses II. That's 1292 through 1225 BC. And there she is. And she's not whited out. So at this time, the increasingly mystical game also underwent another physical change. There, yeah, you see it? And that's the double crown on the head. Yeah, look it up. So at this time, the increasingly mystical game also went another physical change. The
Hey,
boards
hey,
were now painted. Yeah,
yep, feathers up. You know what I mean?
feathers
For
up.
real, for real. Like two
Oh,
feathers.
absolutely.
Like they say, two chains.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. That means two feathers.
That's right.
Hath shep shoot.
Mm. It's funny how it's powerful just looking at some of these images. Okay, so the boards were now painted or incised on a flat slab of stone, wood, or faience, and all contained religious decorations in the final five squares. So several contemporary 20th dynasty game boards have all 30 of their squares decorated with religious designs. So although now partially destroyed, enough details remain to show that they correspond exactly to the descriptions in the gaming text. So these boards, probably used in a ritual form, correspond with the development of religious gaming texts. In these texts, the player narrates in the first person the journey of his draughtsman through the squares and the events which befall them there. Seemingly, then, those texts describe that ritual, if they are not the recitation of the ritual itself. Okay? We know that the mechanics of the game is the ritual derived from the older practical game, because so much of the descriptive material in the game and text has earlier parallels in the Old Kingdom tomb scenes. Yeah, that's how we know. So one of these completely inscribed and surely religious boards was found buried in the courtyard of the 18th dynasty tomb of Kinaman at Thebes. But the board, now in the British Museum, dates to the 20th dynasty and was thus interred more than 300 years after Kinaman was buried. So the ritual importance of this board is implied not because it was a later burial addition, but because it was interred by itself without any associated corpse. It is clear that Senet had developed a deeply religious significance by this time. Yet, some boards still retain strictly secular designs, such as those scratched into the 25th dynasty boat ramp at the quay of the Amun temple at Karnak. Thus, in the New Kingdom, two forms of Senet existed simultaneously: a secular recreational game played by two people and its offshoot, a ritual game probably performed by only one person. Okay, let's take it there. Yeah, you scroll up, I'll keep reading, or we can look at what the audience or the subscribers or the chat is saying.
Yeah, hey, you want to shout out to my boy, Big Dog Philly OG. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Aisha H. We don't know where you been at, so you ain't been here. You been working hard. She ain't been around. But you know, all y'all, we appreciate you. You know, big
Uh-huh.
ups and respect. Uh,
Definitely.
got
Organized
all the
noise is
kings
in
and
the
queens
building.
in the building. But yeah, we
Mhm.
we just scratching the surface. It's gonna get a little deeper.
Wow,
I promise you.
it's like, man,
Matter of fact, let me zoom in.
once that portal opens, it ain't gonna never close. It ain't gonna never close.
Mm. So, and you see how those pieces look like pyramids.
Yes.
Like, what if they've been? What if the gods been playing this game on the earthly level? Huh?
Mm.
Like, like
Oh,
we think. Oh, they built the pyramid. Man, them ain't never pieces on the chessboard of Mother Earth. You
mm,
know, for real. And we don't even know the hand that controls the movement.
that's right. Big ups to Lele Johnson in the chat. Positive vibrations back to you. Big Dog Philly OG is in the house.
Yeah, yeah,
Damn, well, damn, Calico.
yeah. The homie rocking with us,
Wow.
so we rocking with him too. You
Awesome.
already know.
Awesome.
But you can finish reading, sis.
Absolutely. This is great stuff. I'm like I get high off of shit like this. But anyway, as a game of skill, Sonnet was undoubtedly exciting. But as a ritual game, it must have afforded ancient Egyptians great reassurance to act out and divine the afterlife and know they might still live with Ra in heaven after death, no matter what sins they committed in life. Perhaps it was unnecessary even to perform the ritual game. The board itself may have had so much um, amol- amolotech significance, it's an amulet, I suppose, significance that just depositing one in the tomb might have been enough to ensure a happy afterlife with Ra. Yeah, I would be happy in an afterlife with Ra. So when the Pension article was first published in 1980, a footnote stated that Pension had, quote, developed a modern version of Sonnet based on its extensive research, end quote, and that a copy of the game was available from the Oriental Institute at the University of Chicago, no doubt. Yeah. Hmm. So you take something that already exists, make a change to it, get it patented, and it's yours. That's the sequence. Find something that already exists. Then you don't have to invent. You don't have to spend all your time inventing things. Get something that already exists. Change the color and the height, maybe an inscription or two. Call it yours. Patent it. That seems like the name of the game. Yeah. And so if you take something that's invented already and you reinvent it, yeah, did you discover that? Did you invent that? If you reinvent something, does that have the grounds of an invention to stand on? Hmm. We're gonna find out when Calico um, scroll.
Yeah, nah, matter of fact, that's the end of that. But you
Oh
know
no,
they ain't the end of this. Hold on. But you couldn't see the very last little bit?
I did. I read that already.
Okay. Now
Oh,
this is
that
it.
part, the board. The
Hmm.
board at the left is a wooden reproduction of the game of Senet. A number of game companies in different countries, such as Germany and Brazil, now offer this game for sale to the public. What
Hmm.
about that?
So we got to order one, don't we?
Absolutely. And then we got to master it. Take that trek through the underworld or afterlife without even being dead.
Hmm.
Let's do it.
Let me show you how all of this connects with what I say clairomancy.
Yeah, buddy.
Matter of fact, first off, I'm gonna show y'all what clairomancy is. Then I'll show you what I want to say. So can you read that, sis?
Cleromancy is a form of sortition, meaning casting of lots, in which an outcome is determined by means that normally would be considered random, such as the rolling of dice, but that are sometimes believed to reveal the will of God or other universal forces and entities. Cleromancy, a form of sortition. Hmm. I'm reading between the lines right now. Give me a minute.
Yeah, it's a form of sortition. So it's like saying when you shuffle cards, you're sorting the cards, right?
Hmm.
So that's why I say it's a form of sortition, a
Hmm.
casting of lots, in which an
Right.
outcome is determined by means that would normally be considered, and nowadays we talk that it's random, it's by chance. Like I say, this is
Right.
all by chance.
And
Yeah.
is there something else that's just implied in that definition, like a form of sortition,
Yeah.
sortition of cards, cards. What cards? Yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
those cards,
Yeah.
because they already let you know the Christians that got a hold to the game and changed some of the inscriptions and all kinds of shit, changed all the picks, the rules, and everything.
Hmm. So like I say, this is a game of the gods, what I say, which is
Yes.
clairomancy. So so obviously, Senet fits this description, and I'm gonna show you a little more. Moving a little slow. Yeah, and this is out of a book about ancient board games.
Hmm.
Chapter 9 out of, I think it's Mauritius Subterranean. What is it? I don't feel like exiting out of it so I can show it. But anyways, Yeah. And if I go a little farther up, speaking on Senet again, I'm not gonna read all this, trust me. But the five board fragments vary. The five game board fragments vary and represent a diverse arrangement of squares and depressions that belong to different games. They were carelessly made of local chalk with little attention. Hold on. All right. Well, there is no literary or archaeological record of Mancala boards, like the brother was speaking on. Right, the Mancala boards, this early in history, raises the very tentative possibility that a predecessor or early variant of Mancala may have existed in the Greco-Roman period. The fragment, the fragment in the board of such a variant, a game known as pentagrammi,
Mm-hmm.
penta meaning five. So, or like they say, five lines. So
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, I understand that when we've been saying grammar and all that, all of this time, or even grimoires, it was basically lines. We were writing in lines. You keep it all in the line, in the alignment. So that
Mm-hmm.
would be the grammar, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and the five lines. So although no sign of a center line or sacred space, a normative element in the game is visible.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, after viewing this fragment, he stated, Shayla stated that our fragment is too small to even categorize as a game board, no less to define what type. Another possible parallel to this fragment, which is this is the Mancala board that we're speaking of.
Mm-hmm.
Another possible parallel to this fragment, albeit not a game board, is the stone libation vessels with cup-like holes, described as stone kernels tables. Many of the finds in this sanctuary are categorized as votive items or ritual equipment. It has been suggested that the holes may have been utilized for offerings of agricultural goods, possibly linking the activity to ceremonies of the Eleusinian mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
These finds may have been connected to either gaming, cultic use, or both. Since the two activities were not mutually exclusive, the use of game boards simply for entertainment purposes was widespread and is especially evident in the many public board games discovered on street pavements and other public areas throughout the Levant. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And public schools, however, are more difficult to date. Right. Now I'm gonna get down here because given the close culture and economic ties between Egypt and Mauritius, it may be inferred that board games would have been directly or indirectly influenced as well. And Christ Dunn Vittori suggests that the familiarity with the board games with inside squares in the Levant may in some cases reflect an indirect local adaptation of of Egyptian games, possibly via non-Egyptian Levantine sources. But
Mm-hmm.
I bear uh figures 912 and 914 bear resemblance to boards of Latrun Cooley. Three such boards were discovered by Bliss and McAllister, and one in nearby SC5. And the other game board that can be tentatively identified appears, boom, 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 and it resembles the Egyptian game Senet, also referred to as the game of the 30 squares. Right,
Mm-hmm.
and this was the most popular Egyptian game known from First Dynasty, circa 3050 BCE. So we definitely mean over 5,000 years ago, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And our game board is two-sided. You can flip it over and play another side. With
Right.
side B containing three rows of 10 squares. Such a two-sided Senet board was discovered in Hazor, albeit from the 9th century BCE, with the other side containing the game of 20 squares. Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
I guess Yadin, right? Senet board was also discovered in Lachish, and the 30 square board has been associated with the days of the month. This association with the calendar was also noted by Petrie in relation to a board discovered in a tomb in Beth Pelet that contained Egyptian finds from the period of the 12th dynasty. Games appear in religious literature of ancient Egyptian of ancient Egypt, including pyramidal texts, coffin texts, and the Book of the Dead. There was no distinction between ritual and recreation in ancient Egyptian, uh, where religious celebration and worship could take the form of sports, games, and play. The religious nature of Senet is also evident in the great game text. And Martinez believes that the Senet contained astronomical symbolism, and the board was utilized for travel and afterlife. It should be noted that some of our Aramaic ostraca contain astrological references. Christ Don Vatur and De Voot put it succinctly, as with most aspects of Egyptian life, board games were imbued with meaning connected with journey into the afterlife. Cultic usage of game boards was not limited to Egypt. The game boards discovered at the heel of the Agios Georgios in Nicosia, for example, I believe they reflect cultic practice. I'm going to skip down. I want to show you. All right. Seven glad people discovered with 361 astrogos. Chapter 11 for some of astrogos in antiquity, and throw sticks and cubes. While these items do not necessarily imply cultic association, the fact that 63 were modified, 11 of the astrogos were inscribed, one with the name of the Greek goddess Nike, the goddess of victory, one made of glass, certainly reinforced the possibility of their use in divination by claromancy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the three criteria used to suggest divinatory use of astrogals are context and inscriptions or their modification or production in other materials. And yeah, it's just that simple that anytime we seeing the casting of stones, you know, the casting of
Mm-hmm.
these numbers, all of that is claromancy.
Mm-hmm.
And we going off what the message of the math is saying, because we're mathematics. You feel me? So
I
the
do.
math, the math has always been important for us to get our answers. And we knew that it was more than just a math problem. It was more than just a
Mm-hmm.
number. It's an expression. It's a like all those numbers would be like a paragraph. What we read as a paragraph could be put in all numbers, and we would be left out of the information because
Whoa.
we don't understand math anymore. Yep.
Yeah. And on another tip, I've been sitting here writing down some notes that come to mind while listening to you read, and I'm saying, okay, games. They was all into these games, right? The ancients, and it seems like the powers to be right now today is still playing games. We just don't understand that they're playing it against us and we're losing. But saying that to say this, games can be you can use another word for games and just call it lessons. And so that game being an actual lesson makes it all the more important, not just to win the game, but to know how to play the game. And while they were playing games all the way out throughout history that we've named BC, all the way back to 3500 and beyond, uh, we've been distracted. Yeah, we've been
Mhm.
distracted, and we don't know even know how to play no games because those games had lessons in them. And now that we're not playing the game, we're not learning the lesson. And guess who's getting over like a fat cat? While we're distracted with entertainment and all kinds of bull, they're still playing the game and they're winning like a mug. Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to learn. We need to go back to playing games, real games, and not just the distraction games. Because believe me, like you said, we're already missing out on the math of it all. And if there is an equivalent, a letter for a number for each letter, and we don't even think about the equivalent of these letters, the equivalent of these words, we don't know that the number games even exist.
Hmm.
We're
Exactly.
losing.
It's
We're
like saying,
losing.
where do we think they got the idea for computer code? You
Okay.
know, like what made them genius enough to use ones and zeros and such to
They
represent
knew it was a
letters?
language,
Yep.
binary.
Yep.
They knew it was a language. They can put together complete sentences in binary code and get the effect that they want because we don't understand the words that we're saying and putting together and using.
We don't
Well,
understand.
no,
We don't
it's
understand the
already
math. We don't understand the math that we seeing.
we don't. We don't and don't want to.
Don't want to.
That's a double whammy.
Mm-mm.
We don't understand it and we don't want to. Try
Hey, watch this.
try to tell
Watch this.
somebody something they don't know.
Watch this. See, like we say, math don't lie. And what a nigga scared of? Niggas like when you niggas scared of math. So guess what? That just means we scared of the truth. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
we can't handle the truth.
Right. And I don't like math. It gives me a headache. But I still have to do it.
Yeah, I grew to love it. Like I didn't like it in school, but for
Right.
some
Yeah.
reason now that I can rely on math to be like I tell my children, like when they doing their math, whatever, you the thing you gotta love about math, you always know if you right or wrong.
That's right.
There's no I think I got it right. No.
No, you can go back and check and make sure you got it right.
You either know you got it right or you
Yeah.
know you got it wrong.
Yep. That's why you go check your problem. You
Yep.
come up
So
with
I
a
don't
different
accept
answer
nothing
every
less than
time you check
100.
it, you're wrong.
Like if I don't if me or my child don't get 100, it's got to be because you didn't do all of the answers. Now every answer you did, it should be 100. Every one of them you did. That's a good thing. That's the beauty of math. You
That's
know,
awesome.
that's for
That's
sure.
awesome.
And
Yeah. We'll present that as a challenge one day, the math challenge. Add something. Subtract it or
yeah,
divide it. It doesn't matter. Do something. The math and the science, that's our right. That's our right. Our ITE.
that's real. That's real.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
our God given right.
It is.
Our
Our
Mayat,
ancestors left
I, I, I,
ancestors left that for us.
yeah, our Mayat given rights.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And we're gonna have to use them. We're gonna need them. We need it right now. Right now, we need that math.
yeah,
Right now,
and that's
because the
and like the
numbers
brother
are
organized
not
it.
quite adding up. Somebody's being cheated. Let me
Hey,
look at these
hey,
numbers again.
and that's a saying right there that we always say too. Like, what's the math? You know, hey yo, what's the math, son? And all of that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
yeah.
You know,
What does the math say?
for real. Or even if you know anything, for real.
Yeah. So, but we're gonna wake up one day. That's what Trio Dios is here for. Everybody gonna wake up at your own pace. Hey, but you are, because we're gonna pound you to death with this knowledge and this truth. You gonna wake up. Somebody who's watching us is gonna wake your ass up. Then we don't care how it goes.
Exactly.
We
Exactly.
desperate right now. We need all our people together right now. We desperate.
Yeah, and this is not a game. For
And
real.
even if it was, would you be learning your lesson?
Huh? For real.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not just here. It's serious. It's serious. We got work to do, and we better get the fuck off the couch and start doing it. That's my message. That's not even just a message. That's my challenge. Everybody, from now on, up. Get up. Get up. We got work to do. Calico, you know, yeah, thank you for being a pioneer and, doing your part. You definitely doing your part.
Definitely trying,
Oh, I see you. I see you. I see you. I'm like, wow, this mofo is boots on the ground. He out there. He all over social media. Every platform that'll have him, I promise you, he gonna show up. So don't
Yeah,
call him if you don't want him.
for real.
Yeah,
Or if you don't want that smoke, you know,
they gonna get
for
that
real.
smoke. They're gonna get the smoke. Yeah, that's not even an option.
Oh yeah, Pinochle. Yeah, Pinochle. I know you're talking about. Yeah, I heard of Pinochle. I just never learned how to play it. But yeah, all games of man, I don't care if it's casino. We call it
Okay.
21 for the children. We'll teach the kids how to play 21. That way they learn how to just get sharper with that math. You know, all of that.
Right, right. Because we're letting the religious organizations say, don't play this game, don't play that. You don't need to know this, you need to know that. And they're coming with this distraction tactics and entertainment to throw you off. We're coming to redistract you back to what you should be on. Okay? So surely you learned something new today. I did.
You know, for
Games
sure.
have
So
been played since forever. That's what I learned. Games didn't just start, with the Romans.
nah,
And
now they gonna
there's
see. They
football and shit.
look when they close their eyes for good, so to speak, and they go to that other realm before they reincarnate or whatever they gonna see this again. They're gonna like what
Yes.
the what the what
Yeah.
what the what you know like for real. Like
Yeah.
soon as before you even get to the scales of my at, they probably already over there,
Yes.
shooting craps in the back. Like, hey, bro, come holler at me right quick. Huh? Gonna put you on the
Yeah.
the crap table right quick.
And uh, people think they don't need a ticket to get into their next place after you die. I promise you, you're not just passing through and coming up somewhere. You're not going straight from here on earth alive and then you die and now your ass is in heaven. I promise you that. You better start
Mm-hmm.
reading the book of the dead or the coming forth by day of night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
stop playing. Stop playing. If you go play the game, learn the rules, learn what's going on, and play that game to win.
Yeah.
You think you just die and then Anubis said, "Yeah, you good." You think my aunt just don't even weigh your
See,
heart with a
see,
feather?
yeah. People so hard headed. They want to be so atheistic. I guess they want to have no morals too. Because what I'm saying is, follow these 42 laws. You're gonna be all right. You know what I mean? For real.
Okay.
I don't care what religion is the true religion.
Yep.
Follow these 42 laws. You're gonna be all right.
You are going to be all right. And if you know about laws or natural laws or universal laws, you know that some of them are mutable. Some of them you can change, some of them you can tweak to get your best life on. Okay? Understand that. Understand. We're going back to the sciences. I know you don't like to think that astrology or astronomy Our scientists, I know you think they pseudo because the people told you that they was. I promise you, learn it anyway then. Learn it anyway. Use it to the best of your ability and get all your tools sharpened. Get all your tools sharpened. We have an enemy.
And anybody who ever played chess, they already know like chess is just like, you know, it's basically war games. You feel me? Like this is such a strategic game.
Yes.
That if you can strategize on a chessboard, you can strategize in a military battlefield. It's that serious. Because you know how to move your men and how to close in on theirs.
And add that to being psychotic or a sociopath, and boom, the whole world's gonna blow up. Or it's gonna be like it is now, ready to blow up. Yep.
Yeah.
We got the answer. We got keys. Me and Calico and Taz got keys.
Yeah. They already know. Trio deals.
And we're not the only ones. Wait till you see this arsenal out there waiting for this change that's going to happen. I'm just saying. You know.
Hey, y'all subscribe to Big Dog Philly OG too, because we be over there late night, like having all kind of fun. You know what I mean?
Oh
yeah. It be going down. Like we had a classic episode the other night. So, you know, if you ain't subscribed, get subscribed. For sure.
I said he the only one who I saw break it down and just play some rap and vibe.
Yeah.
Now one person said, turn that down so I can speak. I said, oh shit. This is the kind of environment I like to be in. Y'all was vibing last night. Y'all was vibing. It's like, yeah. That old school rap where they was talking about the revolution. They was talking about doing something, telling these truths and everything. The whole panel just shut down and started vibing. I felt that. I felt it. It was all good. It was all good. And so I hope y'all got y'all food for the day. Yasini is going to move to another side for a minute. Trio deals might come right back at your ass tonight. That remains to be seen, but you know, we're going to talk about it. We definitely going to talk about it. And if it's possible, it's going to happen. So while I know we gave y'all enough to chew on for today, you know, after the sun goes down, maybe we'll feed you some dinner. Okay. Maybe. And thanks for being here for us, because without y'all, we wouldn't even have a reason to come on. Everybody out there, everybody in the chat, we love you. Dio Trios loves you. Yasini loves you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, and Calico love you. And I know my brother Taz definitely wants you to know he love you. So, you know, with that, y'all already know where y'all can find us. We in the house later on. Y'all see me in the house, I'm guaranteeing.
Oh, I promise you I am. And everybody's welcome. This is Big Mama's house. Everybody welcome. Don't bring nothing. Nothing. I'm feeding everybody.
Just take your shoes off at the door. That means hit the like button.
That's
subscribe.
Right. And plan to be there for a while. Yeah. We ain't got no job.
Peace
I
and
would
love.
say I ain't got no job. Okay. But I'm doing a hell of a job. Yeah. Watch it.
That's real. But it's all the time, and I swear it won't stop. People throwing shade, I be throwing sun rays. Some people want fame, I be putting you on.
About the stars, I wrote about the moon. I wrote about things in the sky that go boom. I wrote about death, I wrote about life. I wrote in the morning, afternoon, and at night. I constantly search for new ideas. I talk to my elders, my friends, and my